All right, Monica, Randy, welcome aboard. My name's Cameron, you already know that. Seatbelts look good. Do you have any questions from your safety brief? All right, perfect. There's some air vents for you here in the front panel. These are all adjustable. That's full blast. That might be too cold for you. You can turn them up and down just by twisting. There's also one right up top here as well. Just remember, when we get to higher elevation, it's going to get colder in here. So remember, you can adjust those. All right. Also, there's a pocket for the two of you here on the side. That's where your briefing cards are located. You've already been over those, part of our safety briefing. There's some bags here for you if you need them, just in case. Also, a notepad in here with a pen. If you have any questions for me during the flight or comments, please write them down. I'm also listening to air traffic control. I'll be talking to other pilots. You're not going to hear any of that going on. So when you see my lips moving and no words are coming out, I'm not talking to myself. Promise. Monica, right here's our flight control area. So I'll be accessing that continuously throughout the flight. If you drop anything in there accidentally, don't touch it. Just leave it there. I'll pick it up for you. I'd prefer to be the one flying today. Welcome aboard. Shrivani Prasad, welcome aboard. All seatbelted in? All right, my name's Cameron. Welcome. We also have William and Linda. Welcome aboard. Seatbelts are on. Any questions from your safety brief? All right, perfect. For the back seat, your air vents are here in the ceiling. There are 4 of them in a row, and they all twist open and close if you need to adjust the airflow. Once we get to higher elevation, it will get colder in here, so just remember you can adjust the airflow. They swivel if you want to point them someplace else. You can put them towards you or away from you. And then in front of you in the back of the chairs, there's some pockets. Pockets have your briefing cards. There's a couple bags in there for you if you need them, just in case. Also, notepad in there with a pen if you have any questions that come up during the flight for me. Just write them down. You can tap me on the shoulder to get my attention. Hand me the notepad, and I'll do my best to answer any questions. Anybody's first time in a helicopter today? Hands in the front. Everybody else has been in one. All right. You noticed my hand didn't come up. Just think about it like a magic carpet ride. Anytime the helicopter turns, it will lean with it. It's like a bicycle, motorcycle, jet ski, or boats going around a corner. You just kind of get pressed into your seat a little bit. Winds have been fairly light, so I'm not expecting a lot of turbulence. We might get some, though. If we do get any turbulence, it just makes the ride more fun. Just a little bit of wind, nothing to worry about. First part of the flight, I've got to be quiet. I'll be talking to the tower, monitoring traffic as we leave, so I will not be able to answer any questions during that period of time. And then same thing when we come back in, but I'll give you a heads up about that, okay? Any questions? You guys ready? All right, give me just a few moments. I'll get our clearance. We'll be off the ground here very shortly.
But got him at the evil wall, crept up and slipped away with her, yeah. I ain't nothing I can do now. I guess I'll keep on rambling. I'm gonna see myself.
All right, guys, here we go. We're going to lift up, magic carpet ride. We'll come right up off the ground here, straight up, just like this. We're going to turn to the left. And then away we go. is all old sugar cane, and we'll talk about that once we get a little further up. How's everybody doing so far? All good. Perfect. So we've passed over a bunch of old sugarcane. Sugarcane was out here for over 140 years, and then they shut it down about 2 years ago. They were losing money off the sugar industry, so no more sugarcane grown out here. It is a big change for us. Whatever they do, we just hope they keep Maui green. It is designated as agricultural land. Left-hand side, little town of Pukalani. We have the Haleakala Highway, which splits the two towns. The town's on the far side is Makawao. Makawao has a nice little downtown area with some shops and restaurants, and that is known as Paniolo Country. Paniolo is the Hawaiian word for cowboy. This is all considered up country as you come up the mountain. We got Pukalani, we got Makawao, we've got here in front of us Kula. Kula is where a lot of our farms are located. You can see them all around us. We also have the Kula Bistro up here on the mountain. Kula Bistro, great Italian food. That is owned by Chef Luciano. He owns Kula Bistro. He was voted best caterer by those that have their own private jets. Great Italian food. They've always got some specials up on the board. They've also got a really nice dessert case. They do not serve alcohol at the Kula Bistro. But if you'd like, you can bring in unopened bottles of beer, wine, or champagne, open them there, and there's no corkage fee to open. And if you forget the wine, there's a store right across the street. Out here to the right-hand side, we got our coastline out here, and this is where Kihei, Wailea, and Makena are located. This is the drier side of the island. Same thing with Ka'anapali and Lahaina on our west side. This is where you'll find most of your hotels, most of your resorts, and that way you can get nice sunny beaches. If you're living off the land, that is not the side to be on. I want to be on that rainy side where there's lots of fresh water, places to hunt. If you can see it out there behind the clouds, there's a big island called Kaho'olawe, which is also known as the Target Isle, because the military bombed it for target practice over and over again. Still unexploded ordnance on the island. Every once in a while, we'll get volunteer crews out there to help try to clean that up. If they ever get it cleaned up, that will become a Hawaiian heritage site. So that's Kaho'olawe. That's the bigger island out there. There's a tiny crescent-shaped island between Kaho'olawe and the Wailea coastline. That little crescent-shaped island is Molokini. Molokini is a great dive and snorkel spot. On a bad day, visibility at that island is usually about 100 feet deep. That's a bad day. On a good day, you can get up to 200-foot visibility. Usually pretty epic out there. Right down below us, we have a Kula Road, cuts across the mountain. That takes you through Kula. If you stay on that road, continuing out this way to Ulapalakua Ranch, you'll get to the only winery that's on our island, Maui Wine, and it's a beautiful drive up country here. If you stay on that road past the winery, you can circle the entire mountain range. If you plan on seeing the sights along the way, you're probably looking at about an 11-hour trip at least. If you want to drive it straight through with only a stop for lunch, you're still looking at about 7 hours with only one stop for lunch. And if you have a rental car, you might want to check your agreement first before you do it. You are not covered on some of the roads. We have some one-lane roads, gravel, hairpin turns. If you decide to go through there, watch out for our locals. They like to drive about 5 times as fast as you want to go and take up the entire road. A lot of it is one lane. All right, up here in front of us, you can see Poli Poli State Park. Lots of trees out here. You can see the zigzagging road cutting up the mountain here off our left-hand side. Here in the bottom section of this little teardrop, that's the Ali'i Lavender Farm. They're open daily till 4. It's $3 per person to enter, and then you can wander the fields on your own or pay extra, and they'll give you a guided tour. There's a lot of different varieties of lavender. Lots of different trees and plants up here as well. And again, up country, it's beautiful up here. So that's the lavender farm right down here off our left. We'll come around and we'll get this on the right-hand side as well. All right, Linda, William, right underneath us here, this is the lavender farm. Ali'i Lavender Farm. Ali'i is basically the word for chieftain or royalty, so essentially it's like Royal Kula Lavender Farm. Now, if you look up the mountain, you'll see a blue paraglider over the trees here in front of us, winding its way back and forth. They're going to be landing over by the lavender farm here underneath us. See the zigzagging road? That's paved as you come up, but it is pretty narrow. Watch for cars coming around it if you come up here. Once you get up to the top, though, there's a road that cuts across kind of behind the cloud layer here. As it cuts across, though, that is a dirt road. 4-wheel drive is required if you want to continue on that road. The launching spots for the paragliders is just behind the cloud. We have another one that just came out of the clouds here off our left. There's a lot of different varieties of trees up here. We actually have a California coastal redwood forest hike up here, but you'll need that 4-wheel drive to get up here. There's also cabins for rent up here. There's an area where you can do camping. Camping does require a permit on the island. The permits can be purchased online, printed out. Just keep it with you for when somebody asks for it. Right up ahead here, this is that road that I was talking about. It's dirt road at this point. Cuts across the mountain. Waipoli Springs Recreation Area is a little further out that way. That's where the cabin for rent is, as well as that little camping area. So lots of different ecosystems on our island. We got our dry side of the island out here to the right. Same thing with Kaanapali and Lahaina on the west side. We've got all the trees out here, and then once you get towards the top, it just dries up. We can actually get desert-like conditions here at the top of the mountain. And this is Haleakala. Haleakala is the 3rd highest mountain in our state. It is 10,023 feet tall at the highest point. Haleakala means house of the sun, so if you watch the sunrise on a clear morning, it'll look like it comes out of the mountain. House of the sun. Haleakala. This is a dormant shield volcano. Every major, actually every mountain range in the state is all shield volcanoes. Shield volcanoes get their names because they kind of look like a warrior's shield laying on a battlefield. You get a nice long mountain. The shape comes from our lava here in Hawaii. It's more fluid, so to spread out more before it cools down and solidifies, so that creates our shield shape. The liquid nature of the lava also allows gases to escape so they don't get trapped and they don't build up. And then because of that, when we actually do have an eruption, it's not going to be a big explosion. Nothing like Mount St. Helens, nothing like Mount Fuji. So here in Hawaii, even the volcanoes are laid back. Last eruption happened around the year 1790, creating this rift zone here underneath us. These are all little miniature volcanoes and cracks in the earth. All right, looking forward, we have the big island out there. That is Hawaii. The entire state is named after that island, also known as the Big Island. Every major island has its own nickname. Maui is known as the Valley Islands. Lots of beautiful valleys here on this island. So up ahead there, we have the top 2 mountains in the state. The one to the left is Mauna Kea, 13,796 feet tall. The one to the right, Mauna Loa, just peaking above the clouds, about 130 feet shorter. Mauna Loa is a long mountain, and Mauna Loa means long mountain in Hawaiian. Those are the top 2 mountains. Number 3 is here on Maui, Haleakala. Getting shrouded in clouds this afternoon. So our winds primarily come from the northeast, so that's basically here in front of us. And as that wind gets pushed across the ocean, it'll bring all that moisture with it. Moisture gets pushed up into the mountains, rising up, it cools down. When it reaches the dew point, that's when you get clouds. Now, it's going to happen on the northeastern side of the islands first, and then towards the top and sometimes circling them. So the northeastern side is always the wettest. If you're on the north side of Maui, we can get over 400 inches of rain a year. It's a lot of rain. You can see a little bit of Science City here off our left-hand side. These buildings run by the United States Air Force. We have the largest solar observatory in the world up there. Also satellite tracking stations. They keep track of every man-made object in space with their instruments. You can see how dry it is here towards the top of the mountain. Our coastline's out here, full of black lava rock beaches. Those will eventually get pounded into sand by our waves and turn into our beautiful black sand beaches. Only rain that makes it all the way across our mountain ranges without getting rained out will hit the southwestern sides. Although every once in a while our winds will reverse, it doesn't happen very often. Those are called Kona winds, and they'll bring all that moisture from the south side. Usually it doesn't last very long either, maybe not more than a few days at most. Pretty day today. Everything very clear. You can see all the way across to the Big Island. Probably about 28 miles away or so, depending on where you're measuring from. It's not that far.
Gravity.
You can kind of tell the relative age of each island by how high their mountains are. The higher they are, the younger they are. The lower ones have had more time to erode down. Well, let's see if we can get a shot inside our crater here, left-hand side. This is Haleakala National Park. The landscape inside very dry and desolate. It almost looks like the moon or Mars in here.
What makes this
And
man
NASA brought up the Lunar and Mars rovers here to test them out before they shipped them up into space.
that his heart can
You can hike all the way down into the crater. There are cabins to rent up here if you want to stay the night. They usually book a couple months out, though, so you'd have to really plan ahead for that. The red soil you see inside, that is all iron-rich volcanic rock and soil. And iron's going to rust over time, gives us the red color. You'll find that all over our islands.
It's working against me.
So that's Haleakala National Park. We're going to go ahead and turn. We're going to get this on the right side here for a moment.
Gravity.
Through the turns, if you get a little dizzy, try to find something far away to look at. You can watch the horizon line as we come around or look in the direction that we're turning. All right, William, Linda, right side. You can see inside our crater here.
Ain't twice
Haleakala National Park.
and can't sustain like one half could. It's wanting more.
Down by the coastline up ahead, you can see one of the wind farms on the island. We do have two of them. By the year 2045, we're supposed to be at 100% renewable sources for all of our electricity. That is for the entire state, not just the island of Maui. Last time I checked, we were ahead of schedule, and that is extremely rare for Hawaii. We're usually over time and over budget. All right, we're going to start our descent. As we come down, please equalize your ear pressure. You'll start feeling that squeezing in as we come to denser air, coming down closer to the ocean. So you've got a couple ways of doing that. You can hold your nose and blow gently. You should hear the air go back in your ears. You can also open your mouth wide in a big yawn. Try to get the ears to pop. Wiggling your jaw back and forth might help. Swallowing may help as well. Feel free to make all the funny faces you want on the way down. We're going to be doing the same thing.
It's gonna send
And I put you on camera.
my knees.
Let me know right away if you can't equalize. If you wait too long, it will become difficult. So continue to equalize all the way down. Don't let that pressure build up. Waiting beyond that starts becoming painful. Everybody doing okay? Okay. Tap me on the shoulder if you need my attention, but let me know right away if you can't equalize. Otherwise, it's just going to get worse. Still good? Still good? All right. Up ahead, our coastline, one of the areas where we filmed part of the third movie of Pirates of the Caribbean. We had the Black Pearl sailed by Captain Jack Sparrow up and down this coastline. Over here on the left-hand side, kind of filled in a little bit with the clouds, this is the Kaupo Gap. It's actually the southern spillway for the crater. There's a gap in the crater wall here. Lava used to pour out of there. Kaupo goes from the top of the mountain where our gap is, and it goes all the way down to our shoreline. This is how they zone land on this side of the mountain. Everybody gets a piece of the crater. Everybody gets a piece of the ocean. A lot of people living here on this side of the island live off-grid, so they'll have their own water catchment systems. They'll have solar or wind power or both for energy. We don't want anybody to have to fight over water rights. So they zone the land from the top of the mountain all the way down to the ocean. Down here at the ocean, we have the Kaupo Cattle Ranch, one of many grass-fed ranches. Lots of grass-fed beef on the islands.
In the dark, and right on the middle mark, just in the tier of everything that rides below the surface. And I watch from a distant 17, sure of the others' dreams of being golden and on top. It's not what you painted in my head. There's so much there instead of all the colors that I saw. We are living in a dream, but life ain't what it seems. Everything's a mess, and all these sorrows I have seen, they lead me to believe that everything's a mess. But I wanna dream.
Left-hand side, Mana Wainui. Mana is the word for power in the Hawaiian language. Mana Wainui means many powerful waters. It's only like this when it rains.
Eyes of a teenage crystallized, oh, the prettiest of lights that
Most of the year it's pretty dry back here.
the home. And the cries from the strangers out at night, they don't keep us up at night. We have the curtains drawn and closed. We are living in a dream, but life ain't what it seems. Everything's a mess, and all these sorrows I have seen, they lead me to believe that everything's a mess. But I wanna dream.
is the Kipuhulu Forest Reserve. The little town of Kipuhulu is over here by the shoreline up ahead. It's where the resting place for Charles Lindbergh is located. Charles Lindbergh was a famous aviator. His gravesite is located here on this side of the island. Up ahead we have the Kipuhulu Valley. This is an extension of our national park, Haleakala. There are two separate entrances. You can drive all the way around to the eastern side of the island to get to this entrance. And this is where you'll find a beachside camping area. There's also the 7 sacred pools of water as the waterfalls come out of the mountains back to the ocean. And there's also a beautiful bamboo forest hike here at Kipuhulu. It is 2 miles one direction. Go through the bamboo and get to the very end and you'll be at Waimoku Waterfall. The bamboo towers above you. Sunlight filters down through the trees. If we have any wind, those reeds will sway against each other, clacking against each other almost like a musical instrument. Beautiful hike. The bamboo forest hike is over here on the right inside the valley. The tops of the bamboo look like the fuzzy green carpet. Lighter green trees that you'll see out here, kind of like the shadowy areas, those are kukui trees. Kukui is our state tree. They're on every island. They like our shadowy areas where all the water flows. And you may see people wearing leis that are made out of kukui nuts. Usually dark brown, black, tan, black and white. Just depends on how they process them. Couple more waterfalls out here coming up. So we're heading towards the rainy side of our island. Take a look just up ahead in this little valley coming up. This is Waihiamalu Waterfall. It's about 380 feet tall. You can see the top of it right now. Once we get up a little bit past it, we'll turn around too for Linda and William. Waihiamalu Waterfall. Again, about 380 feet tall. Coming around. Randy, we'll get one more time as we turn around, so just be ready. Up ahead, Waiho'i Valley, and we'll have some black lava rock we're going to be passing over the top of where the water has carved its way down to the surface. It's going to be just up ahead here. You can see a little bit here on the left-hand side. Once we cross over, you'll be able to see it on both sides here. This is what our landscape looks like underneath all the green out in this area. Up ahead, just offshore, we have a little rock island to the right. These are all bird sanctuaries offshore of Maui. And this one sits right opposite of Koki Beach Park. It's called Alau Island, A-L-A-U, right here. It's just south of Hana. Hana is straight ahead. We have Hana Bay with the town surrounding it. Has anybody driven out here? Nobody. 617 turns, 54 one-lane bridges in about 4 hours. One direction. That is with stops and traffic. It is all about the journey, not the destination. Population in Hana is about 1,200 people, so don't blink or you'll miss everything. Beautiful, beautiful drive. Takes you through the Hana rainforest, one of the wettest spots on Earth. Again, we get over 400 inches of rain on this side of the island a year. little town of Hana off the right. The quickest way out here is the airport straight ahead. If you fly out directly from Kahului, you're probably looking at about a 15-minute flight. Doesn't take very long by airplane. But what's the fun in that? It is a beautiful drive. If you come out this way, just past the airport, you can kind of see the point that sticks out. As it comes back in, that is Wainapanapa State Park. Beautiful black sand beaches. There's also a little grassy area where you can set up a tent. But remember, a tent, any camping does require a permit. So just get that first. Up ahead, we have the northeastern rift zone of Haleakala. These are all cinder cones, little miniature volcanoes now covered over by the Hana rainforest. Waterfall after waterfall, all the way up the mountain. right, we're going to do our turn here, leaning with the helicopter. You get pressed into your seat as we tighten the turn. And then down below us off our left, another one of those one-lane bridges. All right, Linda, William, coming up your side. Waterfalls all the way up. Look straight down. Probably tell how much I hate my job. I have to face this every single day. It is a wonder I make it out of bed in the mornings. The rain right up ahead here. All that mist. We usually get at least a little bit of rain every day in the mountains. Rain is a Hawaiian blessing. If it happens on your birthday, anniversary, or wedding day, that is considered good luck on the islands. Rain gives us our life-giving waters, feeds every waterfall on every island. And if we get our sun to cooperate at the right angle, we'll get rainbows. The Kenai Peninsula is out there by the coastline. That's about the halfway mark as you're driving out to Hana, so with traffic and stops, about 2 hours to get out to this point. The Kenai Valley goes all the way up the mountain, becomes another spillway for our crater, the Ko'olau Gap. We saw the Kaupo Gap on the other side. This is the north side gap, Ko'olau Gap. We have a lot more of those light green kukui trees down below us, our state tree. Bright orange flowering trees, African tulips. They're actually an invasive species. This is Honolua Valley. Waterfalls here in the back used to be harvested for their water. Their water went to help water our sugarcane fields. Sugarcane has gone away. We get our waterfalls back. What did I say? Honolua? This is Honumanu. Honumanu Valley. Sorry about that. Beautiful waterfalls. We used to stop here where this edge is, right above us.
Sleeplessly embracing butterflies and needles line my seamed up joint, in case I need it. In my stomach, on my heart, chainmail, hunger of the pine.
Welcome to my office.
Sleeplessly embracing your young to me.
Down below us you can see a little bit of the pipeline. This is what carried the water to help water our sugarcane fields. Just imagine building that by hand over 140 years ago across this wilderness.
Realization grew on me as quickly as it takes your hand to warm the cold side of the pillow. I'm there for you, be there for me. I'm the song the soldiers sing as they march outside our window under all the pines.
And back to civilization. That's Makawao in front of us, Paniolo country. Once again, the Hawaiian word for cowboy. Skyline Echo Tours, the zip lines that go across these little channels so you can see all the wires. This is Makawao, Pukalani over on the left. On the far side of Makawao here in front of us, pineapple fields. All rows are lined up to fit harvesting equipment. That way they can harvest a lot at once, makes it more efficient. If you'd like, you can do the Maui Gold pineapple tours out here in Hali'imaile. That's a little town up ahead by the lake. These are the Maui Gold pineapples. Maui Gold is a sweet pineapple bred for its sweetness. Also, up here in Hali'imaile, we have one of our distilleries. The Hali'imaile Distillery makes vodka, rum, and whiskey. They offer a tasting tour if you're interested. They make a really nice vodka. It's very clean finish. It's called Pau Vodka, P-A-U, and it's actually made with pineapple distillate. Doesn't taste like pineapples, but it does have a really clean finish. Also up here, just across the street from the lake, we have the Hali'imaile General Store, which is actually a restaurant. Nice little restaurant. Executive Chef Bev Gannon is up here up country. The distillery is a silver Quonset hut by the lake. That's that half-cylinder building. The tasting room is the rectangular one just to the right side of it.
Sometimes I think about life was so simple back then. We'd run around no shoes.
Now we're back to the old sugarcane fields. A lot of it's still growing wild out here. This is all sugarcane underneath us.
Secrets in the band, and sometimes I wonder if it's all a dream. Another green flash playing tricks on me, but I know deep inside I'm still alive. Let me take you back and you'll see Remember getting lost and found your whole world inside of one motel. To set your mind at ease through the tropical breeze and Uncle playing sake. We used to spend all day at the beach, shore break fishing and sunburned cheeks. Take me back, take me back.
Over here to the right at the coastline, that is the town of Paia. Paia is where Mama's Fish House is located, another great restaurant.
To live in the past.
It's right on the ocean, beautiful views, impeccable service, fantastic food. They reprint their menu every morning to let you know who caught your fish by name and where they caught it from. Yeah. Pricey restaurant even for Maui standards. I took a friend out there for lunch and spent, for the two of us, $290. We did pick some of the most expensive things on the menu. It was one drink each, 2 appetizers, 2 entrees, and 2 coffees, and a dessert. Tax and tip out the door. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was wonderful. I have not been back yet.
We used to spend all day at the beach, shore break fishing and sunburned cheeks. Take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back to you. Oh no, take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back to you.
This is our airport where we left from, Kahului. Out here to the left, we have the old sugar mill. You can see the smokestacks out there. There's 3 of them. That's where they processed our sugar cane into Maui Gold sugar. Maui Gold is a raw brown sugar, also called turbinado. Turbinado is basically the same thing as sugar in the raw. See those little packets, sugar in the raw? That is turbinado sugar. For further refinement, they would ship the sugar to California, and that was the brand C&H. California and Hawaii brand sugar.
Spend all day at the beach, shore break fishing and sunburned cheeks. Take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back to you. Oh no, take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back to you.
This is the town of Kahului here off our left-hand side. The West Maui Mountains here in front of us are the older of our 2 mountain ranges on the island. They're older than Haleakala. These are about 2.5 million years old mountains, and they've got a lot of beautiful valleys in our West Mauis. They've had more time to erode. That creates the valleys. Also not quite as high as Haleakala. Haleakala, 10,023 feet tall. The highest point in this mountain is 5,700 feet. Along the foothills is the town of Wailuku, and that's where the seat of our government is located, here on Maui. Straight ahead along our foothills, macadamia nut orchards. Those trees take anywhere from 7 to 10 years to grow before they're ready to produce macadamia nuts. Long-term return on investment. They also take about 400 pounds of pressure to crack open a macadamia nuts. Now you know why they're so expensive. This is basically the northwestern side of Maui. We are heading kind of northwest bound. Up ahead, this valley, Waihe'e, one of the areas where we filmed Jurassic Park on the island. Jurassic Park was filmed on 3 different islands. They used Kauai, Oahu, and Maui to create that film. This is one of the areas here on Maui where they filmed. There are no hiking trails in the valley itself. But there is a hiking trail that will take you out to this peak here on the right. Right out here, there's some people up at the top. Observation deck up top, also a picnic table if you want to bring your lunch up there. That's one of my favorite hikes. Beautiful hike, overlooks that valley. Looking up ahead, we have an island out there, that's Molokai. Molokai is also known as the Friendly Island, as long as you don't stay too long. Population out there about 7,500 people, so there's not a lot of people living out there. You can get miles of beaches, there's hardly anybody on them. You can get beaches to yourself. One single traffic light on the entire island, which I'm told doesn't even work. That's Maverick. This is Honokahau Valley. All the way to the back here, this is the highest waterfall here on the island of Maui. This is Honokahau Falls. This is Honokahau Valley. Highest point once again here in our West Maui Mountains, 5,700 feet tall, is called Pu'u Kukui. Pu'u is the Hawaiian word for hill. Kukui is the state tree, those light green ones we saw earlier. Out to the right, we have the other island, Lanai. Lanai is owned by Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison was the CEO of Oracle. He's a billionaire with a B, lots of money. Developing land out there. His goal with the new developments is to double the population on the island. That's going to provide jobs and help out the economy. If he is successful in doubling the population, that island will reach 6,000 people. This is Pu'u Kukui. Straight ahead you can see Kaho'olawe. Once again, that's the target isle we saw earlier. Maui is known as the Valley Islands. There are a lot of valleys here in the West Maui Mountains. All the ridgelines separate them. Up ahead here on the right is Olowalu. Beyond the ridgeline straight ahead, Ukamehame. Over here on the left, Iao. Iao is the largest valley here in the West Maui Mountains. Now you can visit here. There is a parking area just in the front there. It's $5 per parking. It does fill up though, so usually it's better if you come right when they open if you want a parking spot. Otherwise you can park outside the park, that's free, but then you have to walk in. There's a little trail that will take you to the Iao Needle. Basically a spire, it looks like a spire from one angle. It's actually another one of these ridge lines here. It was used as a lookout point for the Hawaiians and when they were the warring tribes way back when. You can also get off the trails and follow the river. And there's usually lots of little areas where you can go swimming, dip your toes in if you want. next valley is Waikapu Valley. We're going to exit out of the mountains through this one. All right, so coming into view right at the base here, we have the Maui Tropical Plantation. One of my favorite restaurants on the entire island is located here. It's called the Mill House. The Mill House is all farm to table. They make their own bread and pasta from scratch. Any beef that you eat is wandering the fields up above their farms. They have zip lines that zip across the farms. They also do their own coffee roasting. Great little place. Even if you're not there for lunch or dinner, just wander the grounds. It's beautiful. This is the Maui Tropical Plantation right up ahead here. It's laid out like a circle. Kumu Farm surrounds it. The restaurant is right on the lake that looks right here into the back of the valley. They open at 11 for lunch. Their happy hour is expanded. It's now 2 to 5. They have some drink and food specials. Dinner service usually 5 to 9, but their entire menu is available throughout the entire day. We'll be passing the old sugar mill. You can kind of see it from the backside here now. It's out in the middle of all the fields. We are getting close to the airport though, so at this point I'm going to go silent. I'll be monitoring traffic the rest of the way in. Just sit back and relax and we'll be on the ground in just a few minutes. Linda, we have some deer out here on your side. Just off the right side here. You kind of see them grouped together. These are axis deer. Mary Clayton was the backup singer there for that track. She was 9 months pregnant when she belted that out. Welcome back to Earth, everybody. And mahalo. Let me take care of the helicopter first. Number one rule. All right, we're going to take about 30 seconds to cool down the engine here. Just stay seated here. Everybody have fun? It's kind of hard not to like my job.